Hello, this is Tuesday Sub Nathan, and I am going to be making a video about being stealth, um, and what that means to me, and what trans guys can maybe expect if they go stealth. So that's basically what this is about. Let's get started. Basically, I am not stealth. To disclaimer right now, I'm not stealth. I am very openly trans to pretty much everybody I know because I I find myself sharing trans perspectives and articles all the time on my Facebook, and if I don't explicitly tell somebody I'm trans when we meet, as soon as they add me on Facebook, they'll probably figure it out. And I don't mind so much. I mean, I don't okay, a bit of me minds, a little bit of me is a little bit bothered that I'll never be, I'll always be seen as trans man and not just man. And I know that those things are the same thing. Trans men are men. But unfortunately, I'm well aware that there are a lot of people out there who, even though they see trans men as male, they don't view them in the same way as they would view a cis guy, which is hard for me. But it's something that I've just come to deal with, I suppose. Anywho, uh, I would love to be stealth to some degree. I mean, I'll tell you about what happened yesterday. Uh, it was my first day of college yesterday, which excitement, but anyway, yeah, it was my first day of college yesterday, and I was sitting in my first lecture, and I was so excited, bright eyed, bushy tailed, happy face, talking to my friends, and the lecturer came out and started calling a roll sheet, and he dead named me. Now, my dead name shouldn't be on the roll. The reason why it was, I think, was because I got my name changed by deed poll, but that was in between the time I accepted my place in college and went to them telling them. And so I, on the fourth day, came to them, the fourth day of registration, came to them with my deed poll, and it was all changed. And they were like, oh, yeah, we'll change it. And all my personal account details were changed. And that was all good. But I think in between the time where I accepted the place and everything was changed, the roll sheet must have been chugged out. And so, unfortunately, I have the pleasure of being dead named in front of my entire class. I mean, I had not heard myself referred to as dead name in a very long time. It's weird, and I don't miss it at all. Um, and I'm starting to not even mind it when I hear somebody else being called my dead name, and it's relatively common as well. So I'm starting to not respond to it when I'm in a group of people and one of them has my dead name and they call my dead name. I don't look around anymore, which is weird. That's something I've noticed. And that was something that I worried about. Oh, they'll figure out my dead name. I actually confided in a friend who is a trans guy and we share the same dead name, but I confided in him because I assumed he had guessed because we had been at the same house party and everybody was calling him by his dead name because he wasn't out yet. And so I kept turning around like, what? Hello? And by the end of it, I figured that he had probably guessed, so I told him. And he didn't suspect that at all. So if you worry about that kind of a situation arising, people probably didn't notice. Probably. I don't know. Everything is subjective. Um, but then when I started yesterday and was dead named in front of everybody, I went down after the class was over and I told the professor, and he was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, we'll change it. And I know he has trans students because I know them both. And they don't have any problems with him. They're all they all like him. So it wasn't a case of the professor just being like an asshole, because he's very nice and he gendered me right today and used the right name, Nathan. And so yeah, it was just it's just how it happened, just how it panned out. What I would say is I would love to be stealth one day, but I don't think I'll ever be able to because at the end of the day, I feel lucky in that I'm not extremely uncomfortable uh, disclosing that I'm trans to people. Like, I don't want it to be this kind of frame which you view my personality through, and I don't want it to be something that you see when you see me and you don't see anything else, like, writer or artist or, interested in weird medical history. Like, I'd rather people saw anything else about me because at the end of the day, I don't want to build my entire identity based around my transness. Um, Not to say I don't want to get more active in trans issues. I just don't want people to see me completely as trans and nothing else in my personality. I know I'm rambling now. Um, but I don't think I can be stealth. I would love to be, but I don't think I can be. And I think I'm okay with that. And it's okay to not know how okay with something you are. It's all okay. And to anybody out there, any trans guy who is hoping one day that they can be stealth, just I have so much respect for you. You're not making a transphobic decision. You're not making you're not being you're facilitating how you can live your best life, and you should not be ashamed of that. You should not let anybody tell you that you're making a bad decision, because if you're not making anybody else uncomfortable, then I can't see why it's a tough it's a tough thing to accept. To anybody out there who is planning never to be stealth, same goes for you. It's not invalidating your trans identity by showing it to the world. You are just as brave as every guy going stealth. Every stealth guy is just as brave and as valid as every guy who is not stealth. There should be no stealth versus not stealth politics. At the end of the day, we're all men, we're all demi guys, we're all on the masculine end of the gender spectrum, if there even is a masculine end of it. Um, but we're all united under that, and there should be no shame about how you choose to share that you're a man. There should be no shame in that. So if you're watching, you have my back. There are lots of other guys on this channel who'll agree with you. If you make a decision that will better help you to live your life in a comfortable manner that is not in any way making somebody else's life really bad, and being stealth or not stealth does not make anybody else's life very bad, you know, then there's nothing wrong with that. You are amazing. You are doing a great job. Don't worry about it. Do you. Do you. And I will see you soon.